We're here with Mark Carlston, who is the brand owner and importer now of Crotalo Tequila. And first of all, Mark, I need to congratulate you because you are fresh off winning a Best of Show for the Spirits of Mexico in San Diego in 2011 for your Extra Añejo. Is that correct?
That is correct. Yes.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Mike.
I know that you've worked long and hard to get that varietal off the ground, and everybody seemed to have loved it.
Yeah, and you know what's unique about it is that we were the people who came up with the process of double barrel aging, and actually got special permission from the CRT to do so. We start all of our tequilas out in French oak, and then for the half of the age that's on the bottle, we switch into what we'll call our proprietary oak barrel and finish the aging process. So this started out 3 years in French oak. Mm-hmm. This is a 5-year, so it went 3 years in French oak and then 2 years in our proprietary. Our Reposado is 11 months and 2 weeks. It's 6 months in French oak, and then it's 5 months and 2 weeks in our proprietary. And our Añejo starts off again in French oak, a year and 3 months, and is finished in our proprietary for a year. So gives us, the reason we do that is the marriage of the two flavors of the barrels, I think, really works in the tequila. It's something when I was collecting tequilas starting when I was about 30, started collecting tequila, and some of my favorite brands started disappearing from the shelves, and I looked for certain nuances that I couldn't find. So when I went to Mexico and decided to make a tequila, rather than go to a tequilera that said basically, bring us your bottle, we'll fill it with tequila, that's your tequila, I decided, you know what, I want more than that. I'm looking to do certain things that other people aren't looking to do. And I went through 20, 30 different tequileras before I found Tequila Embajador. So I'm very pleased to work with the people there.
Excellent. And so is there like a strategy with the amount of, you know, the extra couple of weeks that you have with each of the varietals as far as aging goes? Because typically it's a 6 month,
Correct.
And then they pull it from the barrels and they
Correct.
call it a reposado. 45 days they call it a blanco suave, and then they pull it from the barrel.
Correct.
Why the extra couple of weeks?
For us, what we try to do is challenge the next level of tequila. We're still a plata, but we're 2 weeks from being repo. Mm-hmm. And we do that because we wanted the nuances of the barrel to touch our tequila. We wanted to create a sipping tequila through the line. Although, it makes a great margarita as well. Mm-hmm. We wanted to get that connoisseur. We're a very small boutique brand, 10,000 bottles in our first run for all levels.
That's very, very small.
And so we're looking to try to get that connoisseur and sip it through the whole line, as opposed to just having where you're shooting it and you're making margaritas with it and you're trying to compete with some of the big boys. We're not trying to do that. So that's the reason we do what we do.
Okay. Tell me about the name, Crotalo. What exactly does that mean?
My father was a biologist, so I was as a young child told and taught the genus species names of different things, and so
you speak Latin.
You learn to. So Crotalus is the genus species for all rattlesnakes. I started catching rattlesnakes when I was a young child, and had a college near me that had a herpetology lab. So I got paid very few dollars for allowance, but $20 for a snake for anti-venom. So I started catching rattlesnakes.
Wow, did you ever get bit?
Never been bit. Just caught one yesterday, actually, at my house.
Holy.
But so the name Crotalo is the genus species name in Spanish, Italian, Latin for one rattlesnake. And so that is where that name came from. On each of our labels, the rattlesnake gets progressively bigger. So it shows the age by the rattle also. It's kind of little things we threw in that people haven't noticed. On the plata, it has a rattlesnake that's a baby rattlesnake with a button. The repo, because it's close to a year, is a button and one rattle. The Añejo is a button and two rattles.
Yeah, a button would be
just
similar to
the top.
Okay.
That's when they're born with a button.
Okay.
And it's kind of a misnomer that every year of their life they get a rattle, but we played on that. So that's how we came up with the name Crotalo for our tequila. I've been catching snakes in my area. I catch and release the snakes for people who have them come into their yard. I'm kind of known as the snake guy where I come from. So.
Okay. Explain to me a little bit about the distillery that you chose. Now, you said you visited over, what, 20?
20 different ones. Like I said, most of them said, look, bring us a bottle, bring us a label, we'll make the tequila, it's your tequila. But I was also not just looking for making a tequila somewhere. There's things that I knew and wanted to do, and Tequila Embajador had encompassed everything that I wanted to do. We cook in a brick oven. We don't cook in an autoclave. Slower cooking process, a slower release of sugar, more flavor in my palate. And then also, you know, they let us come in, we test all the piñas that we use in ours. We're using a brick meter. We're looking at the different sugar content. We're looking for a 25 to 30%, where most people, it's a mixed bag. You know, it goes in, they cook it, it comes out, you know, what it comes out. And then we also extra shave our piñas down to where we take all the green off if we can, because that's a bitterness that we didn't want in our tequila. Okay. So they're the only one that said, we like what you want to do. We'd love to do this with you. So. Okay,
so let me ask you, why triple distilled instead of double distilled? For those of you who don't know, the CRT allows, the law says every tequila needs to be double distilled, but Crotalo does triple distilling.
Correct.
Why is that?
You know, just for a smoothness. You know, our catchphrase is strikingly smooth with just the right bite. We wanted that person who's going to drink it straight up to be able to have not that real burn of the alcohol. And by triple distillation, we get to that. So the flavor of putting it in the barrel and triple distilling gave us where we wanted to be. We didn't want to lose the flavor of the agave. Some people say if you triple distill, you lose that. I don't think we did. I think we nailed it, you know, right where we needed to be. And it just creates a much smoother, more palate-pleasing flavor to do the triple distilling.
So is it more conducive to cocktails at that point?
I believe it is. We have been in some competitions. There was a show on the internet that did the original tequila sunrise recipe from the 30s and 40s. Okay. They used different platas, and they really didn't think that our plata was going to be the one that would win in the end, but it did. I think that the flavor really comes through that in a cocktail, and I'm going to make you one later that you're going to love to taste.
I'm looking forward to it, because I can't make a cocktail to save my life. How hard is it to find Crotalo right now on the market?
It's impossible. We are not in a store yet.
Welcome to impossible.
Yeah, but we're getting very close. What I've decided to do is, you know, I'm a man. If you know, one of the mantras is, if you can't beat them, join them. I said, if you can't join them, beat them. So I've gone and gotten my own distribution license, setting that up right now. So we're going to do distribution in California ourselves and Nevada. Mm-hmm. So those are the two markets. We've already pre-sold. We're going to be in the MGM properties coming up. Mm-hmm. We've got some really high-end restaurants that are going to carry us. We've talked to Bevmo. They're interested in us. We're just about any day now away from having our distribution.
You're this close.
That close.
You're that close.
That close.
You can find, if you're interested in trying Crotalo, you can find them on ztequila.com, which
Correct.
is our tequila superstore.
Correct.
As well. What do you see for Crotalo in the next 5 years? Where do you want to take this brand? Because you have so many, you know, you have a lovely presentation.
Right.
You have an award-winning Extra Añejo.
Correct.
It's almost like, what's next?
Well, for us, you know, it's getting the distribution out there. It's getting it to the people and let them taste why we have a different tequila than other tequilas. My passion was to go and create a tequila in Mexico that is different than others. And, you know, I truly made it to my palate. And I didn't know that it would really be readily accepted, but I'm finding out that my palate's pretty good. So, you know, going forward, we have a 7-year that we're coming out with.
7-year Extra Añejo?
Extra Añejo. It'll come out in 2 years. It'll be a rattlesnake head bottle. And then I used to go across the border and bring bottles. You know, I don't want to tell this to the U.S. government, but, you know, before they required your little ID there, we would sneak bottles across, and there was a guy in Tijuana named Marco that owned a liquor store. It was a tequila candy store for aficionados. Every kind of tequila you could ever imagine. And there was a waiter that I had named Marco who turned me on to it. So I'm also going to be creating a tequila out of the Crotalo line called Tres Marcos. It'll be a 3-5-7 blend So it'll be
3 years,
5 years, and 7 years.
Holy cats.
And that'll be coming out in about 2 years as well. So down the road, we're going to add 2 more products. Obviously, we want to up our numbers, but I don't see us ever really doing more than about 30 to 40,000 bottles a year. And we want to keep our hands on it. We want to keep our control. We don't want to be bigger and better. We just want, we want to be better, not bigger than everybody else. And that's my goal, to do what I do with this tequila.
Very briefly, before we sign off here, tell me about this Extra Añejo. What makes it so special about the bottle? Because, as a collector, you know that bottles are a collector's best friend.
Correct.
So tell me about your bottle.
Well, this bottle and all of our bottles are made by an artisan named Hipólito Gutierrez. And,
I know him.
And he's from Tonola, and he right now has the distinction of making the largest blown glass bottle, Guinness Book of World Records. So he's an artisan that I was looking for an old whiskey feel to the bottle. Years ago, Plata was always in a blue, red, and the colors kind of describe themselves. But our Extra Añejo is kind of special. It is a black amethyst bottle. As you drink the tequila down, the bottle turns purple. It looks black on camera. It looks black until you drink it. If you hold it up to the light, it's purple. We also clad it in a 14-karat platinum. So it is 14-karat platinum plated. The rattlesnake head bottle will be a 14-karat gold bottle. So collectors truly will look for this. We made 1,400 bottles of this. We won't make more. We made 100 that we actually engraved with platinum, and those are numbered. So those will be coming out. Hopefully, Z, we can get those online with them.
Yes, absolutely. And so if people want to go online and learn more about Crotalo, where can they go?
CrotaloTequila.com. We're going to be making what we call our famous shaken snake margarita. And we have a lot of other good margaritas on our website. Very inventive for what we come up with. The shaken snake that we're going to make in a couple minutes will actually hiss when we make it.
Hey,
so
I can't wait. This is Mike Morales and Mark Carlson with Crotalo Tequila, and we'll be right back with more of Last Tequila Standing.
Thank you.